Hello, my name is Julie Radlauer with the Ronick Radlauer Group. I am here on behalf of Broward Behavioral Health Coalition and One Community Partnership 2 to bring you the electronic version of the Cross Systems training. This initiative is truly a community collaboration with system partners including the Children's Services Council, Broward County Government, ChildNet, the Department of Juvenile Justice, and the School Board of Broward County, among many other systems and community partners. For over 10 years, Broward County has offered system-wide cross-systems training geared towards children with exceptional needs to new professionals and families wanting to access services and supports in the community. The purpose of the training is to educate the community at large about the child-serving systems and how youth and families in Broward County can access these service systems and resources. This training is divided into modules, so you may watch all the system overviews at once, or they may be broken down into smaller segments and watched separately. Today, we are going to watch the module dedicated to the school system of Broward County. This is not a general training about the Broward County school system, but rather a training related to how children with exceptional needs can access services within the school system. Today, we are going to watch a video that explains the services that range from child find, school social work and family counseling services, the RTI, response to intervention process in the school system, as well as ESE services, including SEDNet. Many times, children are referred from child find to early steps due to developmental disabilities. Please join us as we begin with the Family First video that explains the early steps process.
Hello, I'm Cindy Ehrenberg-Seltzer, President and CEO of the Children's Services Council of Broward County. Welcome to another edition of Future First, Focus on Broward's Children. On a recent episode of our program, we talked about early intervention and transition services in those instances where a family, a teacher, or a medical professional suspects that a child may not be developing at an appropriate pace. After the necessary developmental assessments, the family would be referred to the Fiddlers Child Find and Preschool program, where in a friendly, supportive environment, teams of professionals help determine the most appropriate course of action going forward. This could be about the academic placement of the child, training and resources for the family, and other appropriate interventions. Today, we thought we might show you what that looks like. So we've brought our cameras to Wingate Oak Center in Fort Lauderdale, home of the Fiddlers Child Find and Preschool program, where we'll speak to some of the experts involved in the evaluation process and share with you what that process is like. Our first guest today is Fiddlers Child Find Specialist, Dr. Ellen Breslow, typically the first point of contact for a family of a child ages birth to 5 who may be at risk or have a diagnosed disability. Welcome, Ellen. Thanks for coming today. Or actually, I guess I came to you, so we made it a little easy on you.
Very good.
This is a fantastic center. It really is very family friendly, and that was wonderful to see. So tell me, Fiddlers, I know it's an acronym. What does it stand for?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity, and thanks for coming out to see us. Fiddlers stands for the Florida Diagnostic and Learning Resources System. Fiddlers is a statewide grant program of which there are 19 associate centers throughout the state, of which all 67 counties belong to one of the networks. Broward County is a single network. Currently, under Fiddlers, there are 4 functions, and we are in the midst of also partnering up next year with the Florida Inclusion Network, FIN, to talk about inclusionary practices for children.
What does that mean,
that means
practices?
Having children be included in the least restrictive environment and adding the supports around them that they may need to have them included into the regular classrooms and regular services as much as possible.
That's great.
Yes.
So in the 4 functions, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the 4 current functions are?
Yes, well, the function I'm going to focus in on, but the 4 functions are Child Find, Parent Services, HRD, Human Resource Development, which is training for teachers, and assistive technology. But what we focus on is the Child Find component.
Excellent. So tell me about that. What does that mean, Child Find?
Many years ago in Broward County, we determined that any family that needed services for a child who was suspected of having a disability or may be at risk for a disability, our Child Find Center would be the first call, one phone number to call for any services for children birth to 5.
Excellent.
When they call our center, if the child is ages 0 birth to 3 years of age, we in turn make the referral over to our Early Steps partner, which is through the Children's Diagnostic and Treatment Center, for them to get the early interventions through Early Steps. For the children 3 and 4 years of age and before they go into kindergarten, if there is a suspect of a disability, we then set up appointments for those families to come in so that the child can be given an assessment appointment to truly see if the child does qualify for any services.
And those developmental delays, we're talking about those that could impact their academics or any delay?
It's really, when we look at children and we test children, we do look at the so-called impact on education. Now, we certainly understand a lot of our children may not even be in preschool settings or child care settings. But what we are looking at is based upon state, federal, and local guidelines, do they meet the criteria for special education services, whether it's impacting their overall development, whether there's behavior concerns, speech and language concerns, physical concerns, and if they do need special education services.
And that eligibility is not income dependent, is that correct?
Absolutely not. It's strictly based upon disability regardless of income. There's no income information that is needed, nor do they need to qualify for any insurance. It's all public education.
That's fantastic. And so then what happens to them? What happens when they come in here?
When they come to our center, what we do is we take them through the evaluation process, and then we also, in our center, we have community liaisons that assist the families if they need additional resources in the community. We have brochures and information for them. So they come to our location, and they wait in our media center, and they are taken through the testing, their hearing is checked, and then they do any kind of assessment that is needed that focuses on their development, their behavior needs, their speech needs, any motor concerns.
Excellent. And so what do you want most for the families to know if they're going to be entering this process?
Well, what I'd like them to know, of course, if they have any questions, we also do, as an aside as well, if there's any second languages, we also, by law, will determine the more dominant language, and we will have interpreters if needed if there's another dominant language besides English in the house. That's part of the assessment. But what they'll do is they would contact Child Find. Any questions they have, they will talk to one of our Child Find specialists or one of our staffs, and we will get them on the right path to the services they need.
That's great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your hospitality today, and thank you for all the work that you do for our families.
Thanks, Cindy.
Now we will learn about school social work and the family counseling services that are available to students in the school system. There are many people who sit on multi-tiered system MTSS of support consisting of administrators, school counselors, response to intervention coaches, school psychologists, school social workers, teachers, and others who know the child well. Now we will meet Faye Kravitz, District Coordinator of Student Services. Hi Faye, how are you?
Hi Julie.
Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us
You're
today.
welcome.
So, Student Services in Broward counties is a big department. Please tell me the range of services that are offered through Student Services.
Student Services consist of school social work and attendance, family counseling, mentoring tomorrow's leaders, foster care, child abuse, and other departments within the umbrella of Student Services within Broward County Schools. We believe that every child is capable of learning. School social work and attendance, SWAD, is composed of 100 professionally trained, certified master's and doctoral level school social workers, many of whom hold state licensure as clinical social workers. SWAD staff are diverse and reflect the Broward County community as a whole.
Can you tell me a little bit about the family counseling program?
Yes, the family counseling program is unique to Broward County within the state of Florida, and I'm hearing that it's unique somewhat in the United States. It is composed of 31 family counselors who are licensed, and they provide short-term counseling to students and families living within Broward County. They are open all year round, and they can provide services even during the summer. The program is funded through a grant from the Children's Services Board and the Broward County Public School System.
Excellent, thank you. So what languages other than English are provided through student services?
Okay, this holds true for not only the school social workers, but also the family counselors. Our cadre of staff includes people who speak English, Spanish, French, Haitian Creole, Hebrew, and Portuguese. Specialized services are also provided within SWAD to specific populations such as teen parents, students encountering substance abuse or addiction issues, students of military families, students in exceptional education, and LGBT children.
So how do school social workers collaborate with other system partners?
School social workers are recognized as school-based mental health providers who provide a multitude of services to students and families, removing barriers to academic and social-emotional achievement. As a member of the MTSS Collaborative Problem-Solving Team within MTSS, school social workers provide a holistic perspective of the student within the educational environment. School social workers provide data to educators regarding the student's familial environment, supportive services available which promote resiliency, and creative strategies to enhance positive outcomes.
Okay, so let's talk attendance. Why is attendance so important?
Well, if the child is not there, the child does not learn. Attendance is often the presenting issue that school social workers and family counselors face and address. Children whose attendance is inconsistent are less likely to succeed academically and socially and graduate from high school. Attendance as a presenting problem often reveals that complex factors are occurring. Such factors may include issues either academic or behavioral in nature, family issues, physical or mental illness of a child or other family member, a family dysfunction such as parenting challenges, or a societal issue such as unemployment or underemployment, poverty, lack of basic human needs such as food, clothing, and shelter that we take for granted, or issues related to diversity or sexuality.
So what are we supposed to do when we understand that a child has a pattern of non-attendance?
School social workers work in partnership with the State Attorney's Office of Broward County for elementary cases. For middle and high school levels, we work with agencies known as FINS, which stands for Children in Need of Services and Families in Need of Services. There are 2 providers in Broward County to assist us in remediating situations that prove to be resistant to successful resolution. As school social workers, we diagnose the root causes of chronic absences, and we are able to provide resources and plans of action to systematically support the child and family while removing those barriers that enhance positive comprehensive functioning.
Thanks. Can you tell me about any special initiatives that are offered through student services?
As I said earlier, we are a big and busy department. Throughout the school year, SWAD has worked collaboratively with community partners to support the needs of the community in Broward County, Florida. Examples of these efforts include the Back to School Extravaganza, the Harvest Drive, an annual holiday toy drive, assistance to children having vision or dental issues, recognition of the unique circumstances related to having a parent who serves in the military and may be deployed or may be returning home, mental health awareness and intervention and recognition of students who have demonstrated perfect attendance is held annually. School social workers participate as partners within the educational setting in the determination of appropriate educational planning for students. Using a problem-solving framework, school social workers engage parents and other stakeholder groups in determining the needs of the child, implementing and measuring the effectiveness of interventions, and then monitoring the child's progress over time. School social workers link students and their families to resources both within the school district as well as our external community partnering agencies.
So clearly, school social workers are there for the students. What happens when there's a death of a student or of a staff member?
Unfortunately, that happens all too often, and we deploy what is called a crisis team. The crisis team consists of school social workers, school psychologists, school counselors, family counselors, and others who are appropriate. School social workers and others on the crisis team are first responders to schools after the death of a student or family member. SWAD staff participate and provide counseling related to grief and bereavement issues on site at the schools. While each crisis situation is different and unique, SWAD staff implement evidence-based practices to facilitate grief resolution.
Okay, so now that we know all about student services, can you tell us how we can access these services?
Sure. You can certainly contact me, Faye Kravitz. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. My phone number is 754-321-1618, or you may email me, and my email address is faye.kravitz@browardschools.com should you have questions or need further information.
Thank you, Faye. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you, Julie.
Next, we will learn about MTSS RTI process to help your child access support in the school system. We're here with Adrienne Dixon, who's a specialist for RTI. Adrienne, thanks so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me, Julie.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about RTI, but let's start off with MTSS. What is MTSS?
Multi-tiered system of supports is a term used to describe an evidence-based model of schooling that uses database problem solving to integrate academic and behavioral instruction and intervention. The integrated instruction and intervention is provided to students at varying levels of intensity based on student need. The goal is to prevent problems and intervene early so that students can be successful.
Okay, so now what is RTI?
RTI stands for Response to Intervention. The multi-tiered practice of providing high-quality instruction and intervention matched to students' needs, using learning rate over time and level of performance to make important instructional decisions, also referred to as a multi-tiered system of supports.
So how will MTSS and RTI impact my child?
MTSS RTI, multi-tiered system of supports, is a term that refers to one seamless framework to ensure that your child receives varying levels of academic and behavior supports based upon his or her needs. Your child will be included in early identification of academic or behavioral problems, so assistance can be provided at the first signs of difficulty. Help for your child will increase or decrease depending on his or her needs. You are encouraged to participate and become involved in planning and providing interventions to help your child. You will receive frequent updates of your child's progress.
Will staff at my child's school use RTI to delay or deny a referral for special services?
RTI cannot be used by your school or the district to deny or delay the evaluation of your child or any student for special education. The Child Find Provisions of Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, require that states ensure that all children with disabilities are identified, located, and evaluated. As a parent, you have the legal right to ask the school to evaluate your child to determine if he or she is eligible for special education services at any time.
How does the school find out if my child needs extra help in math or reading?
Within an RTI model, struggling students or those that might need extra help in reading or mathematics are identified through a two-stage screening process. In the first stage, universal screening, your child's teacher administers a brief assessment to all students in the class. This is typically done 3 times per year, using brief, valid, and reliable assessments. If your child scores below a specified cut score on the universal screen, Your child's teacher will conduct a second stage of screening to more accurately determine if your child is truly at risk for poor learning outcomes. The second stage involves additional, more in-depth testing or short-term progress monitoring to confirm your child's risk status.
How will I know when my child is making progress?
Within an RTI model, your child's teacher uses progress monitoring, short, valid, and reliable assessments at regular intervals, weekly, every 2 weeks, or monthly, to check your child's progress. Teachers should share progress monitoring data with you on a regular basis.
Can students move back and forth on the levels in the prevention system?
RTI encourages movement between prevention levels based on student data. Your child may move to more intensive levels of prevention if he or she is not responding to instruction at the current level of intensity, or to a less intensive intervention level if he or she is responding and making adequate progress. Progress monitoring data helps your child's teacher to determine whether movement between prevention levels is necessary.
Are students who need more intensive levels of support removed from the classroom in order to receive these services?
Within an RTI framework, the levels refer only to the intensity of the services provided, not where the services are delivered. Your child may receive different levels of intervention within the general education classroom or in a separate location.
Is MTSS only about reading?
A building that is fully implementing MTSS would be addressing both academics and behavior through a school-wide approach. The principles of MTSS are consistent across academics and behavior.
So is MTSS the same in all schools in Broward?
No. While all schools in Broward share the same goal for MTSS, they may go about accomplishing that in different ways. Schools in our district have different resources and may have different ways of working together.
What about special education evaluations using MTSS?
If intense intervention attempts are unsuccessful, or if what works requires a very intense or high level of support to maintain the child's progress, the team may carry the intervention forward into a full individual evaluation. Progress alone within an MTSS is not sufficient to make special education eligibility decisions. Also, at any point in time, regardless of the interventions or supports being provided to the student, the parent may request an initial evaluation. During any initial evaluation, the team will be part of carrying out a more intense intervention plan to determine, one, is the child a child with an exceptionality, and two, does the child need specially designed instruction in order to progress in the general education curriculum. The outcome of the process is always an intervention plan. If the child is found to be a child with an exceptionality, the plan will be an individual education plan, or IEP. If the child is not found to be a child with an exceptionality, the plan may be a student improvement plan, or in some instances, a 504 plan. In the end, it should be the school's goal to have a plan in place that they think will work for the child and a progress monitoring system to help determine if the plan is working.
Are there resources available for parents?
Yes. There is a video about problem solving which can be found at the website on the screen. Another website reviews the real truths behind the common myths of RTI and MTSS, which can be found at the website on the screen. Parents may also contact Diversity Prevention and Intervention by calling 754-321-1655 or visit browardprevention.org. All these phone numbers and websites can be found in the handouts you have received for this training.
Adrienne, thank you so much for joining us today and demystifying RTI for us.
You're welcome. Thank you, Julie.
Coming up, we will hear about services available to homeless youth, children in foster care, and LGBTQ youth.
Hi, I'm Angela Ryan Lublin. On behalf of Student Services Department, I'm here to talk about HEART, which is the homeless program. HEART stands for Homeless Education Assistance Resource Team. Who is a homeless person? A homeless person, per McKinney-Vento, the Homeless Assistance Act of 2001, is defined as an individual who lacks a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence and includes sharing the housing of other persons due to the loss of housing, economic hardship, or similar reasons, living in motels, trailer parks, or camping grounds due to the lack of alternative accommodations, are living in emergency or transitional shelters, are abandoned in a hospital, or are awaiting foster care placement. The primary nighttime residence, that is public or private places not designated for or used ordinarily as a regular sleeping accommodation. Living in cars, parks, public spaces, abandoned buildings, substandard housing, bus or train stations, or similar settings. Migratory children who met the above criteria. They have educational rights. They can either attend their local school or school of origin, receive transportation to and from the school of origin, enroll in school immediately, even in the absence of documentation, enroll, attend classes, and participate in school activities while the school arranges the transfer of records, have access to the same programs and services that are available to all other students, attend school with children not experiencing homelessness. Segregation based on student status as homelessness is prohibited. In Broward County, there are over 2,200 children identified as being homeless. Elementary school students represent the highest level of identification. As of April of 2016, 148 high school seniors were on track to graduate. The Broward County Public School System has created some initiatives. They supply school supplies and uniform items, the coordination of transportation to school. There are rules that apply. Referrals to school and community services, such as a school social worker, family counseling, medical, dental, and mental health services. Retrieval of immunization records and state of Florida birth certificates. After-school care services for K-8. Summer camp opportunities. Cap and gown rental at no cost to graduating high school students. Verification letters needed to apply for college and the FAFSA, which is a free application for student aid, and shelter-based supplemental academic instruction. For more information on the Homeless or HEART program, please contact Carol D. Mitchell, MSW. She is the Homeless Education District Liaison. Her email address is Carol, and that is with an E, C-A-R-O-L-E .Mitchell, M-I-T-C-H-E-L-L @browardschools.com. Her phone number is 754-321-1566, and her fax number is 754-321-1690. On behalf of the Student Services Department, I am here to talk about foster care today. Foster care has a variety of reasons why you might come into care. The dependency court will place youth into foster care as a result of abandonment, neglect, and abuse. Some of the family stress factors include poverty, substance abuse, incarceration, mental illness, and death. Foster care provides a temporary living arrangement for reported abused, neglected, and dependent children who need a safe place to live while their parents are unable to take care of them. In Broward County, as of March 2016, there were almost 2,400 children in care, with a total removal to licensed care settings of 1,326 youth. Academically, foster youth face challenges due to home placements, school transitions, lack of basic skills, and emotional upheaval. Access to important socialization opportunities, such as extracurricular activities, is limited. Foster youth have significantly higher rates of absenteeism. With each school change, a foster youth loses 4 to 6 months of academic progress. In terms of long-care educational objectives, foster youth are half as likely to enroll in college preparatory courses, even when they have similar test scores and grades. The goal is to ensure the educational stability and success of Broward County Public Schools who are living in an out-of-home placement and involved in the dependency court system. Every school in our district has a school-based foster care designee whose role is to support the academic achievement and the social-emotional needs of students living in out-of-home placements and involved in the dependency court system. Broward County Public Schools provides transportation as necessary to promote school stability. Foster care students receive free meal benefits. To contact us, please contact the coordinator of the Foster Care Dependency Program, Nan Buzstead. Her email is nbusjit@browardschools.com, or our curriculum specialist, Shirley Sutherland, at shirley.sutherland@browardschools.com, or the administrative assistant, Adalia Cavo, at idalia.calvo@browardschools.com. You can also reach them by phone at 754-321-1551 or by fax at 754-321-1694. I'm here on behalf of the Diversity Department to talk about LGBTQ. LGBTQ stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning. According to the 2015 Youth Risk Behavior Survey, LGBTQ students have a higher rate of non-attendance due to feeling unsafe, threatened or injured with a weapon on school property, bullied in person or cyber on a school campus, injured in a physical fight on a school campus, physically forced to have sexual relations, experienced physical or dating violence, depression, considering attempting and causing injury by suicide, smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, using cocaine, and using heroin. The Broward County School System has developed several initiatives. They have the Safe Badge designee, which requires one per school to create a safe space, a supportive faculty member for the LGBTQ students. They have the LGBTQ Coalition Peer Mentors, which is a team of 20 district employees, including principals, social workers, GSA advisors, with the goal of training over 200 schools on new Broward County Public Schools transgender procedures. They have the GSA Summit, which is planned for November 1st, which brings together the GSAs from all over Broward County to plan out a successful school year. Safe to Be Me Coalition, with meetings monthly to discuss ways to create more inclusive school environments for LGBTQ youth. There are community-based partnerships, which have collaborations with the organizations including SunServe, Safe Schools South Florida, Pride Center, Broward House, Latinos Salud, in order to network and support LGBTQ youth. During the LGBTQ History Month, we are developing an inclusive curriculum and lesson plans for all grade levels, K-12. To contact us, please contact Kizia Gilliard she's the coordinator at 754-321-1634, or Dominic Grazzo, the LGBTQ Sexual Health Curriculum and Accountability Specialist at 754-321-1632.
In our last segment, we will learn about ESE support services.
Hi, my name is Dr. Charlene Graslick. I'm with the Exceptional Student Education and Support Services Department. I'm here to tell you a bit about our ESE and Support Services Department, and specifically the department in which I'm in charge of. Our director is Dr. Antoine Hickman. He is the ESE and Support Services Executive Director. Sonia Clay, she is our Support Services and ESE Department. She is our ESE Director. And then Dr. Mary Claire Musenik, who is our Support Services Director. So on the screen, what you're going to find in front of you is our main web page and information where you can find us. Our phone number is 321-3400. And again, we're Exceptional Student Education and Support Services. A little bit about the ESC and Support Services Department. We are there for students who have been identified to have some type of eligibility in the ESC area, or support services are needed for students who have an ESC eligibility. We also work with the 504 department and other departments. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about those departments next. So what are our departments? We have Curriculum and Instructional Support, Exceptional Student Support Education. We are part of FIDLRS, or Florida Diagnostic and Learning Resources, and the Florida Inclusion Network. We support IDEA, state and local compliance, McKay, Easy IEP, preschool services, psychological services, school Medicaid, Section 504, our resolution office, my department, which is SEDNET, which stands for the Multi-Agency Network for Students with and at Risk of Disabilities, and then our transition department. So on the screen in front of you are some of our curriculum supervisors. Those supervisors are there at the district office to assist you should you not find the supports that you need at your local school. So we would always ask you to go through your local school. So you'd work with your ESE specialist, your principal or assistant principal at your school. Should you find some challenges there, we are here to assist you at our main office number, which is on the first screen. Andrea Ciotti is in charge of IND, or individuals that have intellectual disabilities or that specialty. Gary Griegel is our autism specialty. Janice Koblik, specific learning disabilities. Brian Norris works with the exceptional student education in the extended school year. And Elizabeth Williams is our EVD department. All of those supervisors focus on curriculum and instruction and have specific areas as identified on the screen. In addition, you have our ESE and support services supervisors, and they're all listed there. Ms. Teresa Spurlock is in the Deaf and Hard of Hearing department. Ms. Deborah Harrington, speech and language. Tara Rogers, McKay, and Easy IEP. Gwen Lipscomb is in the FIDLRS and FIN department. Right now, we do have a vacancy in our preschool department, but should you call the main office number, the 754-321-3400, they'll be able to give you that information. Ms. Gorosini is Medicaid and 504. Mr. Lou Roccolo is in transition. Felicia Stark and Sarah Samuels are in the resolution office. Emily Goldstein is in the psychology coordinator, along with Rhonda Sade. And then there's myself. I'm the SEDNET coordinator, and I'm also in charge of ESC family counselors. So what is SEDNET? The SEDNET department is throughout the state. We are the multi-agency network for students with emotional and behavioral disabilities. I am the contact person for that department, and we work on something called a SEDNET referral. And what is a SEDNET referral? A SEDNET referral is something that is generated at the hospital or at a residential facility that tells us at the district to take an expedited look at a student. That student may not have been identified as having special needs or having some type of ESC eligibility need. We would take that SEDNET referral from the hospital and work with the local school for that student. And then we would communicate with the family about those needs. So if you want some more information about what SEDNET referrals are, on the screen in front of you is the Brain Shark that has a community focus. You can get some more specific information there. And then there's one for a family focus. The question always is, can you refer for a SEDNET referral? I want this department or this support services. And it's not something that we refer to. It's actually not a program, but supports that are in place that help you navigate the system of care. You see, SEDNET is designed to help families and community work with the school setting so that everything is in collaboration with one another. So if your child moves to another part of the state, there's a SEDNET project in that state. So on the screen in front of you is the statewide SEDNET website. So you can click on that site and look for your specific information with a specific person that will help you navigate that system in your new school district. What are some other things that are specific to Broward County that SEDNET does? We work with the ESC family counselors, and they provide the counseling as a related service for youth or students who have counseling on the IEP. There's a Brain Shark listed there. A Brain Shark is a recorded PowerPoint that allows you the opportunity to get some more specific information. We're also in charge of the suicide prevention education for staff, students, and community. So if that's something that you're concerned about or wondering about, you can always contact our department. We also provide Baker Act supports in connection to community and hospitals. This particular department does trauma-informed care training and support to schools, and we do numerous other mental health trainings. Finally, many people talk about what happens in the ESC office, and I'm concerned and I have questions. So Miss Felicia Stark and Miss Sarah Samuels are the resolution office coordinators, and they can help you address family concerns that are not resolved at the school level. And their specific phone number is 754-321-3410. What we want to let families know is that we are here to support you, to help you, and help you navigate the system of care in the school system. So if you have any questions, concerns, or needs, we're here for you. We're here to help you. If you're new to our district, we want to be there for you. If you've been in our district and you're wondering about some of the things that are happening, we're here to support you. We're also on Twitter, and there's other places where we can help navigate you. So please go to our website. Please give us a phone call. Our job is to work with you to help your student be successful and graduate. Thank you so much for all that you do. As a family, as a part of the community, we need you to help everyone be successful.
Hi, I'm Julie Radlauer with the Ronick Radlauer Group, and I would like to thank you for joining us for the school board edition of the Cross Systems Training. A special thanks goes out to the School Board of Broward County, Broward Behavioral Health Coalition, One Community Partnership 2, Children's Services Council, and Broward County Government Children's Services Board for their support of this initiative. Thank you.